SCP-093 recovered materials. All documents contained in this file are class 4 clearance, requiring 2 signed approvals to access. Any employee reading past this point who does not have proper classification should consider themselves to be terminated from employment and now subject to disciplinary actions up to and including forced administration of Class A amnestic, immediate transfer to Keter class security, and death. Blue test. Newspaper article. Only one item could be recovered during our initial test, and that was a newspaper clipping found attached to a corkboard in an abandoned bunker. Most of the articles were in a state of decay, but one was firm enough for recovery. Most Holy Father announces progress. Unclean being cleansed. A rare public address directly from the Most Holy Father of the United Lands of the Sun has declared that the Blessed Militia has driven back many of the unclean who are skulking our lands now. New Rome, our capital, has been purged of the unclean, and citizens are encouraged to come back to their homes. Citizens who live in the surrounding countryside should not return to their farms, as the unclean still roam the fields and plains around our glorious city and continue to grow in size. The Blessed Militia has developed new weapons which have proven capable of punishing the unclean and driving them back into the unfertile lands. Construction has begun of a system to permanently close the unfertile lands off from our blessed lands in each affected area once all the unclean have been driven away. The Most Holy requests that all citizens of our united lands bow in prayer and offer tithe to recognize the sacrifices of our blessed militia in these troubled times. Reports have been coming in that falsely accuse the blessed militia of having committed sin against the citizens whose homes they are inhabiting as they travel bravely through contaminated lands. The Most Holy would like to remind the people that blasphemy against any who wear his mark is the most grave of sin, and unfounded accusations will be punished accordingly. We should work to support he and his men, however possible, just as they lay down their lives for us. The sinful rebels who... Green test. Newspaper articles 2, 3, 4, diary. Our second test recovered many materials that helped to establish a sequence of events for this alternate world. The diary recovered provided a glimpse into the last days of the owners of the home from which it was recovered. It may represent activity in other areas of the world as well. Newspaper article 2. Farms surrounding the city of Silver Feathers have reported being unable to contact neighbors across voice or video feeds in the last week. Until an approval is granted by the regional High Father, an investigation cannot commence, but he assures the people that these events have not escaped his attention. Residents are advised to notify their local Blessed Voice daily so any further disappearances can be addressed immediately. Residents are also advised to begin stocking their shelters to be ready for any situation. Newspaper article 3. Following the disappearance of the Blessed Voices from several outlying regions around the city of Silver Feathers, the regional High Father has declared a concern for safety and livelihood. Under this declaration, all farmland residents must evacuate immediately to their shelters. Reports of an unclean have come in but have yet to be verified. Newspaper article 4. The City of Glorious Song has stopped responding to any and all communications. The worst can only be assumed, and our hearts go out to any who are in the region who are unable to hear our words. The City of Silver Feathers Blessed Militia have reported several incursions by the unclean into the city, and exterminated 4 of the abominations before they could become a danger to any residents. The regional High Father reminds the citizens to avoid direct confrontation with the unclean. Conventional arms do nothing to the unclean. Only the most holy of implements will penetrate their sin. So do not put yourself in danger. Any citizens who suspect their neighbors indulging in heavy sin should immediately contact the Blessed Militia. through designated checkpoints. Diary. I have the distinct feeling we're gonna die, so I'm gonna write this all down now for whoever comes along and finds our bones. My name is Herverf Jakulsif, and I'm a farmer. I grows the brab sticks and the huskiers. We raise the inks and the ooms. Me and my wife, Ophiri, and our two little uns, Trevin and Listeria. I got this book and trade from the blessed man who came for food and shelter. Told us to start getting our shelter ready, and not to let no other blessed who coming by even know we're here. Says the whole thing break down. Nothing right no more. So I does as he said. Got all ready. We going down there in the next day or so. In the morning he was gone, which made the wife sad as he was polite to us, unlike most of the others. Figured he didn't want to be no burdener. Les went out looking for him to be sure he weren't just around the house. He didn't turn up nowheres, so we guess he left. Strange enough, Liz found his clothes, around a mile or so away, and all his gear, but no him. She left it all there, and that's for the best, if that happened, that I think. I'm clearly no educated man, don't claim to be, but I can put two and two together and tell you that things are bad out here. For everyone, and especially for us, 'cause it's coming way too close. Sometimes you can smell it. That's when we hide. It smells like a leg of meat that's been rotten for way too long, and just won't go back into the dirt. Even the soil is rejecting them, I guess, refusing to let them be buried to die. It came too fast. We weren't ready. The smell came in the night. Maybe we would have been fine, but the little uns were afraid, so we went to the shelter. Trev was slow. He saw it, kept staring at it as it shambled by, ignored us until he screamed when I was going to listen. The mist down in the shelter. I went to get him, but it was too fast. I saw him standing up there screaming, and its head came down on him, pressed over him, tried to run for the stairs, tried to get to us. And then in a blink, it was gone, and it pulled away. His clothes fell into the cellar, like it vanished out of him. Got into the shelter, slammed the hatch, and locked it. I think it knows we're here now. It'll try to get in, take us too. No telling how long we got. Plenty of food, though. I was wrong. The food was rotten. Something got into it, or I just didn't notice. We're eating what we can. There's food, but not enough. And that thing ain't leaving. It's trying to find ways in. Smelt the food, coming from the lifeweb plug in the wall. Something seeped through it, and we kept away. They get all hard like a rock, and don't smell no more. Maybe the power in the plug finally let it die. I went up to peek. Cellar, it's fine. Trev's clothes still on the stairs. Peeked outside. We're not gonna make it. There were 10, 20, 30, couldn't count. So many all going in a circle around the house, looking at it with those faceless faces and the stink. Oh, the stink. Went back into the shelter and locked the door. I think I don't want to see my family rot away. I think faster is better. The miss, she agrees. We won't tell Liz. She'll be the first. Then my wife, my love, then me. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I gave the best life to my family possible. It was them holy ones what brought this. I'm gonna pen this in memory to my great pap. He was old and knew stories older than himself. Says those unclean they preach about, those unfertile zones they say stay out of. All cause of the most holy bringing the world together. Them things are the ultimate sin. Everything about us that was evil and impure, it's them. They don't know nothing about They don't know nothing about doing what they do. Don't even know why they do. They just do it. Take us into them, and we're gone. I asked Pap what they were. He lit a stick, took a puff, and he said, "Don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody who will admit it. But if you see this symbol, if you see it, you run, boy. You run fast. You run far, and you hide. And you never go back where you saw it. That's all I know." I remember the symbol. It was on the rock he kept on his neck, under his shirt. Next day, Pap was gone. Nowhere to be found. Dad weren't sad. Said he knew it'd happen one day. Pap went home. See you soon, Dad. Pap. Symbol match symbol found on SCP-093 surface as one of the deeper engravings. Also matches symbols noticed on video feed of final test on SCP-093 duplicates. Violet test, office ledger. The third test with SCP-093 resulted in the unfortunate loss of a security member, but also allowed us to recover a ledger with insight into the medical procedures carried out on the alternate Earth now deemed E-093. Patient, Jennifer Mixurka. Recovery tube, 001-1. Mixture, 35% tears, 30% nutrient, 10% HFT, 25% blessing. Summary. Jennifer Mixurka is 20 cycles of age, and during her 18th cycle was the victim of a havride incident that resulted in brain damage and misalignment of her moral processes. She is prone to violent outbursts and can only be calmed down by impure stimulation. Because of this, she actively seeks out strangers to mingle with, and her parents have requested of the High Father that she be set to the tears to mend her mind and body. Patient accepted. During preparation for the tears, subject went into a rage and the attending hand went to recover a sedative. Jennifer tore her clothes off and screamed impure words at me. I locked the door and instructed the hand to wait outside. I am half shameful to admit I laid with Jennifer a total of 7 times before putting her to the tears. It's been very long for me, and her parents have abandoned her to our care, so care for her I will. Before setting her to the tears, I authorized a blessed probe of her body functions and found she is now settled with young, and tests confirm it shall be mine. I have mixed her bath to accommodate this, and she will soak in the tears until her body is ready to give life. Patient, none. Recovery tube 001-2, mixture, none. Summary, none. Patient, Alvarius Farafang. Recovery tube 001-3. Mixture, 80% tears, 20% nutrients. Summary. Alvarius Farfan is a farmer from outside the city of Silver Feathers who claims to have lost family to the unclean. He confronted the High Fathers of the city and demanded compensation and retribution for the loss. The High Fathers denied the existence of unclean beyond the unfertile lands and refused compensation or retribution. Alvarius struck a High Father and was arrested and sentenced to a cleansing of the soul. His mixture of primarily tears to seep into the soul and cleanse his heart and ease his pain. The lawkeepers state his family is indeed missing, so his sentence beyond the tears has been dropped in sympathy for their loss. I used the last of the HFT on Jennifer, or I would have used less tears in this bath. 80% is higher than I am comfortable with, but the HFT is becoming hard to obtain. I may have to go through the dark. Patient. Recovery tube 002-1. Mixture, 75% nutrient, 25% blessing. Summary. A member of the Blessed Militia who was wounded in combat. Request is from the High Father. Details withheld. Patient. Recovery tube 002-2. Mixture, 75% nutrient, 25% blessing. Summary. A member of the Blessed Militia who was wounded in combat. Request is from the High Father. Details withheld. Patient. Recovery tube 002-3. Mixture, 75% nutrient, 25% blessing. Summary. A member of the Blessed Militia who was wounded in combat. Request is from the High Father. Details withheld. Yellow test. PC printout, safe diary. The fourth test into E-093 provided us with documentation as soon to be written by a technician in either a medical or government facility. Found in the safe is being considered for SCP classification primarily due to the composition of the ammunition found with it, and the advanced fire mechanism attached to what should be a very base firearm. PC printout. I did not trust the Overwatchers. I felt something was wrong years ago. Under my desk on floor 54 is a safe with a weapon in it. It is one of those used by the blessed militia. My brother has sent it to me. He says they are also not what they claim. They've done things to our fellows even more vile than what the unclean would do. He tells me to be ready to fight. I cannot. It is not me. I do not know violence. I am too frail. You use it. Save yourself. Safe diary. My name is Herval Tolowitz. I'm a hard systems watcher here. My job is to monitor the sinful who bathe in the Lord's tears and then make sure they reach the prescribed dilution time. I've been doing this job for 23 years, and now things are falling apart. I can no longer abide by the most holy. I must speak the truth. We are being told to evacuate. The containment tubes have been breached. An unclean has appeared in the place of rest, and we are unable to destroy it. Live motion footage shows how it came to be, and this is what has unsealed my heart, mind, and tongue. I must speak. Should the Overwatchers see this, I will be silenced, so I must hide it. Thankfully, they are ignorant with the hardware, so I can hide this easily. The Overwatchers told us we should leave it. The Overwatchers told us we should leave last, to ensure the hardware contains the unclean. What that means is we should distract it and die in case it breaches the watching decks. It has shattered nearly all the tubes and absorbed the people in them. I've dispatched the eyes to the unclean, and they have touched it, bringing me back a sample of it. The unclean are not sinners. They are not products of our disobedience. I suspect they are us. The eyes have dated the sample. It is older than myself, older than my elders. It is over 200 cycles in ages. 200. The sirens are still sounding, but no signal has come for us to leave. I do not think this unclean is alone. I have seen how they can get into places between places. Between places? Is that where they have been all this time? Between places? The makeup of the unclean is unstable. Molecules detach and reattach almost before my eyes, as if to move the entire thing reforms itself in space and time. Why does it not come up here? Too much effort? Or does it not sense me? They have no eyes, no mouth, no face. They cannot speak, cannot see, but they must be able to sense us. The smell, it is so strong. It comes from all directions. It is not a smell of the dead. It is a smell that comes from something that should be dead, but does not know how to die. The War of the Holy Union. I think that was where it may have started. We are united under the Most Holy. What does he owe us? Nothing. We merely keep society running while those on high benefit. Is this not how it has always been? But now we are told we are pleasing the will of those above us in the clouds, those great beings who gave us the power to live and prosper, those who we have never laid eyes upon but are told we must revere. Lies. All of it. Must be. I am using the eyes to create a fluid to oppose the makeup of the unclean sample. Perhaps they will cancel each other out. I will leave soon and store the rounds here. A weapon. I'm too weak a man for this. I will protect my family with my mind and not with my rage. We will be safe in the fields. I know where to go. I will go above now, to my family. I will leave the hardware running, as I was told to turn it off, but this is where I defy them. They will run, this will watch, the eyes will see for however much time they have. Someone will read this, and someone will know. Take the gun, take the fluid, do not listen to the Most Holy. We did, and we are damned. It is a revolver-style weapon with two 12-bullet cylinders. The design of the gun has one cylinder on each side raised slightly so they may flip on into the gun itself and then rotate, firing all rounds before flipping back out and allowing it to be reloaded, while the second is usable, allowing a total of 24 shots before it runs empty. There is no firing pin on this gun, but instead there's a pullback slide mechanism that must be used to prime the active cylinder. At the time of recovering, all 24 slots contained a syringe-style bullet with 32 needles on the end. On impact, it is assumed the force of the shot will press the liquid into the target. None have been tested. Of express interest is that these cylinders can hold standard .45 caliber ammunition, which has been tested. The gun uses an ultra-high power magnet rail system to deliver the shot, so the gunpowder in the bullet is never used. Consideration is a redesign of a round that would utilize the gunpowder mid-flight to add even higher velocity to the round, or that would explode or impact for higher yield. Red test, PC printouts. The final authorized test with SCP-093 resulted in the loss of a skilled service technician, but allowed us to recover very revealing documents that can only be assumed to not have been intended for public knowledge in any world. Curious among these is Agent Report, which appears to have been written by a Foundation employee several decades ago. While these paper printouts were the best material recovered, it seems that the system used to create them allowed for multiple forms of input, including typed and verbal speech to text. Some audio logs of the printouts below are available, but must be requested in advance with fully written explanations as to why. This dual input system seems to explain the variances in the style between users, as well as with assumptions made on the part of the software while performing conversions. Facility Fire Plan. In the event of any emergency requiring the facility to be evacuated, all clear forward staff to report this train Station 3 and use their vial to call the evacuation train. Only one vial is required to call the train and may contain any amount of tears. An empty vial will not call the train. Clear 2 and 1 staff should remain at their posts until either 10 minutes after the departure of Clear 4 persons or until authorized by Clear 4 staff. Clear 3 staff should utilize the protective garments at their stations and weapon lockers before proceeding to designated crisis areas as dictated by Clear 4 staff. Reports. Three unfertile zones have increased 25% in size in the last 7 days. Containment teams are not finding any presence of unclean in these zones, but they are visibly confirmed as expanding. Clear 5 level High Fathers have confirmed breaches in the holy chambers at each of these zones. All chambers found empty. It is believed that the unclean have breached containment on the holy chambers, dispatching additional guards to remaining chambers. Situation X-45549. Expansion of Zone 64-TO have been confirmed. Unfertile zone containment procedures in effect. Containment staff dispatched to site. This is the 10th report in 30 days. Rating to situation status. Reports from Clear 5 High Fathers have stopped at all affected. The city of His Word has been placed on full lockdown, and all travel denied in or out. Other cities are now in alert mode, and combat teams are being dispatched to city perimeters. Situation X-550. The great land of Hufasia has fallen per satellite images. Entire landmass considered tainted. Outbreak of sin reported in Lavina. And that landmass has requested assistance from the Holy Union. Assistance denied due to our own outbreak and mass reportings of unclean. Clear 10 staff have issued the order to evacuate via the gateway, and for all Holy Union authorized persons to proceed to the nearest sky platform for evacuation to Star Eye Eden to continue monitoring status. Gateway keys are being ejected to prevent spread from the center to other space-time vectors. Resurrecting staff are being awakened to monitor and continue reports here as we evacuate. May His blessings forgive our greatest sin. Evacuation log. Evacuation log. Evacuation in progress. Shuttle 1 away. Shuttle 2 away. Shuttle 3. Error. 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 Release us. Release us. Release us. Why? 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 Shuttle 3, error, launch aborted, proceed to Shuttle 4. Shuttle 4 reporting delayed launch, overloaded, triage. Protocols initiated. Shuttle 4 reports passenger limit obtained, preparing to launch. Why? Release us, why us? Release, why us? What did we do? Why? System detecting. Electrostatic activity compensating. Comp. Why were we hurt? What did we do? Why were we hurt? What did we do? System shutdown. System restore purge of contaminated data and progress. Why us? Why us? Why us? Why us? Why us? Why us? Why? Listen. Record. 5432104392. Password. Forgive us. 55544443322. Why? System purge. Bullshit. What the fuck is this place? LOL. Okay. So, there are people typing stuff here, so I'm gonna type too. LOL. So, like, I found this rock in the pond by the house, and it was all kind of glowy and stuff when I picked it up. So, I'm like, oh wow, pretty. And when I pick it up, the pond, you couldn't see the bottom. It was this weird room with a glowy rock thing. LOL. I don't know, so, like, I guess fell into it. Oops. Now I'm here and not there, and really I'm kind of scared. But this place is like a movie set, so it's cool, LOL. There's some guy I can hear talking. He keeps asking me to come downstairs, but I don't see no door. He keeps screaming for help too, because I told him to eat me laugh. And he won't shut up, I guess. I could try going back into that room, but it's so creepy in there. I'm sort of scared to laugh. Oh, so hey, I found a door. It's like in the floor instead of on a wall, so like I'm gonna go tell that guy yelling to shut it up so I can go home. Agent, report. My name is, and I'm an agent at the Foundation. The year in my world is 1972. I assume it is the same in this world, but from what I have seen, due to SCP-093, life on this world ended in approximately 1954. I've used SCP-093 to visit a number of locales, starting and ending here in this center. I've seen landscapes where no grass will grow. I've run from the unclean as they pursue anything they sense. I have no understanding of how they hunt, but I have learned what they are. Approximately 350 years ago or so, this world experienced a technological boom. Ours did not. The source of this seems to have been the arrival of He, a godlike being of unknown origin. He declared the world unclean and full of sin, and the only way to purge itself of this sin was to purge the sinners. A war, whoever was left alive, was clean. Amazing advances in science were bestowed to all cultures for a period of 10 years to prepare them for this war, and during that time, he disappeared. The war happened anyway. The instigator, the unholy union of land, apparently the landmass that for us would become the United States. Records are sketchy, and books that detail anything about this time period are forbidden in the world. I located a cache of recorded history by following a series of corrupted computer communications. It seems the primary weapon used in this war for his love was in fact people. Exposed to something called his holy tears, a liquid compound I have seen in use even today in abandoned medical facilities. His holy tears purge the sin from the unclean and make them love him. At least that's what the label states. The records I've recovered are very unclear about how this war was waged, except to state his holy chosen walked the lands of the sinful and took their sin onto themselves. Those who cried for salvation received it and are now our children. Those who denied his love were purified in his radiance. But something apparently happened no one knew how to deal with. The unclean, The large creatures that are half a man and devour whatever they touch that lives and breathes. I actually found a scientific report written by someone who stumbled here with an SCP-093 copy. These creatures are the result of exposure to a very pure form of his tears, resulting in a genetic apocalypse occurring within the exposed. The terms in here, something about quantum restructuring. I don't understand any of this, but it means they were once humans like everyone else. They could be contained. They could be attracted to his tears. An essential point was established in various regions, where a person with the purest form of his tears stays, keeping the unclean in that area known as an infertile land. Something went wrong with that too. Not sure what, but everything fell apart. The power structure, the culture, the people, all of it fell to ruins, and now those things shamble around the land as its new owners, with no purpose or direction. You can stand next to one if you stand, the stink, and they just slip right past you. If you catch their attention though, that's it. They move like lightning if they need to, and like a snail unless they have a reason to speed up. Sometimes I think they just chase just to do it. Others, they move to kill. I think someone is in this facility, or someone's. I keep hearing voices and requests coming from areas under the floor. I want to leave this before I explore the facility any further. I have sent SCP-093 back through the entry mirror to seal that gate. These things can't be let into our world, nor should we have anything to do with this one. We're simply not smart enough to understand it all, I feel. I don't think the unclean can die. They're immortal, but they don't want to be. They just want to die. They're in my head, I think. I didn't notice it until now, but equipment in the room is starting to react to me. Words on the screen begging for help. I remember touching the tears, smelling it, tasting it, just a touch, eating it, just touching to it, tasting for acidity. But pretty stupid investigative procedures, I think, haha. The High Fathers are alive. They have technology we can only imagine in our comics given by him. Some of the records on this machine indicate space travel, but they didn't go far. Just far enough to watch the world fall apart and wait to come back and take it. If they're up there, who is in this building with me? I've seen the faces of the people, the unclean. They show up on the pictures cast by the machine. In the room with me, watching me, I think. They're everywhere on this world. Only seen by machines now. They don't look sad or happy, just curious. They want to know why. Why them? Why did it all happen? I don't know. I just don't know. They showed me things when I touched them, and it's not quite like the records say. The unclean remember it all. Every person they touch becomes part of them. Life inside them, but dead to us. Every mind, every feeling, every terror, it's eternal to them. I kind of want to join them, but too much to do. They want to find me. Find him. Kill him. There was no war. It was him. It came from between the folds of time and space, and worlds and light and dark, something that is but should not be seen, and called out to them as their god, and they believed it, and they tasted it and touched it and laid with it, and became its property and did its will, and it is still here. The SCP-093 it brought with it, pulled forcefully with it, built it. I don't know why, they don't know, but it belongs to him. It lets him move between places, between worlds, so I broke it. Ha ha ha. I threw pieces of it away through holes, so these doors are closed, just like ours is closed, and I can't go home. So what else can I do? It calls out through the rocks somehow. It knows where they are, but can't touch them. But if you hide the rock, he can call out, and he's stuck too. You son of a bitch. I got you. Bang, bang, haha. I touched him with my fist and my gun, and he fell down. But he'll get soon. I'm sorry. I did all I could. Let me sleep now. Please, let me sleep. Hey guys, Wicked here. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, Wicked out.